Hey, 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 what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Gentlemen's Panel. I am Rebel Son. I will be hosting the panel tonight with the rest of the distinguished gentlemen. We also have a guest as well. So I hope you guys come in, have a good time, have a little kiki, enjoy yourself. Without much further delay, let me bring the guys on. What's up, Cap? What's
Hey,
up?
what's going on, Rebel? How you doing? Thank you for having me and the rest of your Sun Tribe. But to everybody in the chat, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining. And to my state reps over there on Cap Hill, thanks for popping in.
Okay. Next, what's up? Conscious TV, what's good?
Hi, everyone. I am happy to be back as a permanent distinguished panelist, of course. And
Yes.
I just want to say that I wouldn't give a damn if the Gentlemen's Panel only got 2 views. I would do this every Thursday because I love the representation of same-gender loving Black men being able to come together and talk about things outside of hot topics and hair and makeup and boys and big dicks. So fuck all you hoes who do not support the Gentlemen's Panel and who feel away because we're not here to follow the same basic low vibrating ass palette that the rest of you bitches be perpetuating. Let's get the
vibrations.
Okay. Next, we have Barb Marley joining us.
Hey, I ain't letting everybody with this hair get away. I got me a piece of hair today because I seen these people with this long hair today. I'm gonna get me a piece of hair today. So yes, I don't know how long I'm gonna stay in this hair, but I'm gonna be here as long as I can because Captivate and Conscious TV ain't the only one who gets some long hair. Okay, all right. Give y'all Illuminati teas tonight. All right.
All right now. And without further delay, here is our guest for the night, my bestie, DJ.
Hey, everybody. How are you? Yes, long hair, don't care. It's mine. It ain't going nowhere. I don't get hot in it. I don't get hot in it.
Have me some hair tonight. Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
What's up? How's everyone week been so far? Cap, how's your week been?
My week's been great, but before we just a shout out to Official King Payne. He won't be joining us because he had a death in his family. So let's send our thoughts and prayers up to him in this moment. Life is definitely short, and we are reminded of it each day, especially during this COVID crisis. So let's just keep that in the forefront. But moving forward from that, my week has been very entertaining, to say the least. Just very entertaining with turn of events.
I saw you cutting up over there today, especially. I was like, oh, somebody got a little nasty mouth on them.
Hey, Armin Jordan.
What about you, Conscious TV?
My week has been hella busy. I had court on Tuesday, but it was delayed because COVID got everything shut down. I was really looking forward to that court day because I'm pressing the gas on some bitches, so I'm just ready to get to that. But it was also a pretty heavy week because I had a conversation with Dr. Theo Monago. He's considered to be a gay hotep. And the conversation was just very taxing. It was very triggering. It was very informative, but it was heavy. So it took like 3 days for me to recover just from that dialogue, but it's been an interesting week. Good.
What about you, DJ?
I had a pretty good week. I just want to give a shout out to all the panel. I see you, Jess, Armin Jordan. Good to see all of you guys. I had a pretty good week. I had a birthday last week, so shout out to all my Leos.
All right.
Unfortunately, I was a little bit under the weather, but I made it through. I'm good. And no, it wasn't COVID related. It was just allergies and sickness and other stuff that I was dealing with. But my job gave me a birthday party yesterday for me. So other than that my week's been doing good. We've been kind of steady. I'm back at work full time. So we're not really social distancing like we should. But our office is big, and by the grace of God, business has picked up. So that's what got us back.
Okay. What about you, Jay?
Oh,
Well,
Jay.
you know what? I'm doing well. I cut my grass, went to the new Olive Garden they just built by the new IKEA, and then I washed my hair with Crown of Tresses Organic and got all these dreads. So I'm doing real good.
Okay, baby. But yeah, and I think it's pretty much just the same old, same old. It's like you can't do too much right now. So it's becoming, work, home, work, home. It's not much. We can't get out and do like what me and my friends would usually meet up and have a little kiki, but the social distancing has put like a stop to that. Yeah, definitely. So I've been doing my writing at home more so because I have a lot of time here. But the news, it's been a lot popping, especially with Joe Biden picking Kamala Harris. Captain Bates, you're our political guru. What's been going on with that? What's everyone? I'm gonna get everyone's, feelings, your standpoints on what's with his pick with her.
Well, yes, he's picked Kamala Harris to be his running mate for vice president, and the shit show has already started. She's nasty, she's mean. Trump, Eric Jr. or Eric Trump calling her a whore already. The birtherism has started back again. So, same old politics coming from Donald Trump. But yes, she has been tapped to be his VP. Well deserving of it. There would only be a few other people that I would even consider to be in that spot. But being someone closest to that he trusts, I could see her being a definite pick for him. Okay. Now, we all have shortcomings and things. So, I mean, like any other politician, sometimes you have to make the tough decisions that, are not necessarily popular. But, we never know what the end-all reason was for some of the decisions.
Right. Conscious TV.
I actually wrote down my dissertation, so I'm going to read from there.
Okay.
I'm probably going to set off right now, but that's okay. I'm prepared for the heat. I'll vote the Joe Biden Kamala Harris ticket simply and only because it is the lesser of two evils. But that doesn't mean that I'm not aware of who the real Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are, which is trash. Kamala said in an interview when asked about reparations for blacks that she can't say or promise that she'd ever do anything that's exclusively and solely beneficial to the black community. What? There's been policies and legislations put in place that solely benefit religious institutions, the LGBTQIA, and the Native American community, yet you wouldn't do anything that only Black Americans would benefit from. Okay. Thirdly, Miss Harris comes from a mixed race Jamaican family. Her mother is an Indian from the country of India, and her father probably has 1/4 African ancestry. And even though the slave ship stopped in the Caribbean islands, making his people sugarcane slaves, it is alleged that her people owned slaves nonetheless, which may explain why she called out Biden's policies in the past as racist, and yet she's aligned as his partner and running mate. The hypocrisy of our fucking democracy. Last but not least, I'll close with these remarks. The black community exalts anyone with a damn sunburn, despite Kamala Harris's horrendous record as district attorney of San Francisco. And if she ends up in office, she'll replace Jim Crow Biden and will result in bad policies that will disproportionately affect blacks negatively, as her policies already have led to the unnecessary imprisonment of blacks for petty crimes, such as Jamal True-Love, who was in prison for a crime he didn't fucking commit on her watch. In other words, fuck Kamala, her mother, her father, and the banana boat that she rode in on. Next case.
Okay. Well, we all see where you stand on that. And DJ?
Well, first of all, am I good on the mic?
Yes, you are.
Okay, because I remember I had issues last time. All righty. It's different. I can say it's something very different. And not only it's exciting to see a Black woman moving forward, but just to see a woman also moving forward. There's a lot of Congress women in Senate, but there's not vice president women. So I'm pushing for women to do more. Women can be just as strong and do what men can do. So on that aspect of it, I definitely support it.
Okay. Jay, what?
Conscious TV, I heard what you said, but my thing is, at the end of the day, is the woman qualified? Yes. She was a district attorney general, California's attorney general. She knows how to do elections. She knows how to run campaigns. She's already been vetted. She ran for president. At the end of the day, we had a president who had a white mama and a daddy from Kenya. So big whoop. I know the woman ain't perfect, but do we want what we have now? So the bottom line is, I ain't ecstatic about it, but I'm excited about them because I need a Democrat to win. I'm not excited about some of the things they do either, but I would rather see people who look like me and people who represent me than what we see.
Yeah, there's some feedback also.
And lastly, when I vote, I expect things to be done. Joe Biden owes South Carolina Black folk. He owes Jim Clyburn and these other folk. And hopefully those Black leaders who got him in will call them to the carpet and set fire under them to make sure they're doing what they're supposed to do. But who else do we have? Kanye? Really? Who else we gonna vote for? So I understand what you're saying. I'm not ecstatic about some of her record either, but right now I'd rather have her than the latter. Kanye or Pence and Trump. I can't deal with that this year. We need change.
And I do feel that what my standing is, I think that this ticket is the lesser of two evils, because when she was a district attorney, she wasn't that pro-Black. But I do think that they're not perfect. I definitely will be voting for Kamala and Biden. But I'm not one of those people that look at a Black person and just say they're always for us, because that's not always the case. Because people look like us doesn't mean they're going to be for us.
Yeah, Joe Biden want to win, and like I said
he's pandering definitely, and I think that was a good choice.
Yeah, like I said in my commentary, first of all, he knew that she was tested. She had ran a campaign. She knows how to run campaigns. Unfortunately, some of these white folk ain't ready for that dark Annalise Keaton, Val Demings over there. They ain't ready for that darkness right there. So you know what? They got to do what they got to do. They feel comfortable with this Kamala Harris. She's mixed race and so on and so forth. So it is what it is. Joe Biden himself, I feel comfortable with him because those people who are in those Rust Belt states like Joe Biden.
And people do evolve as well. People evolve. What were you going to add, Cap?
I was just going to add a few things. First of all, as assistant district attorney, she fought against sex crimes, sex trafficking, which we are dealing with right now, and rape cases. She also was a big advocate as far as prostitution. For a lot of the young female prostitutes, they were getting prosecuted and sent to jail. She turned that around to where in which they actually had programs set up for these young women instead of sending them to jail. So she has done things. She stopped a man who killed a police officer. They were sending him to death row. Even Dianne Feinstein was a very big advocate and told Kamala in front of the police department, the time of the man's funeral, that she should reverse her decision. And she stood by her decision not to send that Black man to death row. And the police department, as well as the police unions, kind of shunned her for 10 whole years. So she has done some things to kind of stick her neck out there for people. Now, I'm not, again, saying that her record is completely clean, but whose is? definitely in the space of politics in which, you know, we live in. That's all.
Yeah, and I do think that, I mean, I say none of them have like this pristine past. They're going to be able to dig up something in all of their backgrounds. Look at how they dig that about Obama's pastor. I mean, it's a lot of things that they'll find, and there's going to be a lot more to come.
And she's a prosecutor. She's supposed to prosecute, black, white, whatever. She's not the black prosecutor. She ain't. She's a prosecutor. So sometimes she got to go on the evidence. So
yeah, but the prosecution rate did jump when she jumped on board. The first 3 years, it jumped from 52% to a whopping 67%. So she was locking motherfuckers up. Excuse me.
But it could have been
okay, she was locking people up, but Obama was sending immigrants, people home who was crossing the border at an alarming rate as well. So I mean,
no. I don't
everybody. At this particular point, though, I just want to.
But that's why I say what I say on my platform. It's like picking a car or some furniture or something. There may be something that, you know, you're looking for in the car, and it may have everything else you want, but missing one thing, but you wind up getting the damn car anyway. It's the same kind of concept. We don't need to get caught up so much in what the person will do. We can hold them accountable once they get in office. It clearly can be a whole lot better than what we're dealing with right now.
Okay. Yeah, and I definitely will be in there to vote. Definitely. Yes, Conscious.
Yeah, I just want to add that I'm so sick of the fucking Democratic Party always fucking peddling.
Wait, y'all, let's kind of limit the profanity just a little.
Oh, okay. Here we go.
Coin.
I am so sick of the Democratic Party always peddling anybody who has 1% of blackness in their blood, because they know that the black community is weak enough, weird enough to just co-sign anybody from anywhere who got some 3C, 4C hair. Kamala Harris is ridiculous. She was locking up black men disproportionately to white men. She was allowing white men to go to rehab and to actually get help, while she was sending black men who committed the same crime to actual prison, and then gave them these exaggerated sentences at that.
So we supposed to vote for Kanye?
My entire issue here is that I'm actually over this whole I'm gonna support black just to support black. I actually would prefer a white righteous leader over a black crooning, self-hating, conveniently choose when you're black and not black individual. I don't care that she's black. That doesn't serve black people at all, because how many times have we seen black people in powerful positions not doing their job, not doing
I hear you.
People, I am over it.
But Doug Jones,
but what we have to understand is we are only 13.4% of the population. So that means we cannot, even if every single black person voted for whomever, we don't have the power to put them in office. So we do need your fellow lighter skinned part to push that person across. So therefore, sometimes you do gotta chum up and do certain things, and you can't be too. They already call her the angry black woman already. Right now, they are calling her the angry black woman, and she ain't said nothing yet but question people. So go ahead.
Conscious TV.
Yeah, Conscious.
Is y'all done or is y'all finished?
Conscious.
We will be.
Is y'all done or is y'all finished?
I can do that too. Okay, I can do that too. Okay, you ain't the only one got hair.
Okay.
But everybody's coming for your hair, Jay Wilson.
Y'all done or is y'all finished?
Everybody's coming for your hair, Jay Wilson, just so you know.
I don't care if these people come for my hair. Doug Jones is not available. Doug Jones is not available. He was not on that list. So I'm just sorry. But if you want to go vote for Kanye, Go on, do what you gotta do.
Those are our only
Yeah,
options.
Let me say this: everybody on this panel ain't gonna have no hair, and I'm gonna have some hair too. Okay, if they can have hair, I can have hair too. Screw y'all, I can have hair too. All right, it may not be on tomorrow, but I can have hair.
And you know what? I think it gives little girls something to aspire to. Little girls of color, they can look and see someone that looks like them in a higher position of, of power, which brings us into the next topic. Now, this is an empowering. You see the vice president one day, she may run for president. What do you guys think about, on another whole different note, the WAP video? Do you think that is as empowering as Kamala running on as the vice president on this ticket? What are your thoughts on that? I'm going to start with you, Conscious TV.
First of all, I listened to a lot of the pro WAP video reviews and a lot of the con WAP reviews. For me, first of all, these are grown women. This content was for people over the age of 18 years old. So I don't even think that this should be a reference for 13-year-old black girls and 6-year-old black girls. This was adult entertainment by adults. Okay, if you are a parent and you got your children sitting in front of a Cardi B, Megan Thee Stallion video, something is deeply wrong with you, and CPS rightfully should be called. Now, being an adult, I did enjoy the sexual liberation of it. I enjoyed the raunchiness of it because as an adult, sometimes I want to hear my nastiness written out as lyrics by other artists. So spit in my mouth, beat me up, roll me over, shoot me, stab me, punch me. Yes, God, like give me all of that. Come up off all of that, Cardi B. And thirdly, I'll say this. Whether it was liberating, I don't even think that men can even decide that. I think that that's a conversation solely for women. Women get to decide if the WAP video was liberating for them. I think that under a patriarchy, especially under a white patriarchy, I'm not mad at women who use patriarchy to benefit them the way that men use patriarchy to benefit them, including how they oppress women. So when women want to say, "Hey, I'm gonna let you suck a toe or lick a clitoris for a phone for an intuition," well, you know what? That is no different of a story than every other third stripper who is stripping down to the ground to pay her way through school. Okay, so if your end goal is with what God gave to you and what your resources are under a system that devalues you as a woman, and you start playing the game, because let's talk about it. A lot of the women who not playing the game are complaining about the fact that they do everything they need to do, and yet they're underserved, undervalued, and not appreciated, because it's not about whether you can pull yourself up by your bootstraps and be some virtuous woman that the world will bend to you. The world is designed to benefit white women and white men. So when black women decide that they're going to use their assets to obtain assets, what I'm saying is that I ain't mad at that. I'm not mad at that in a white patriarchal cage where survival is first and foremost the priority. Survival. So, and I also didn't see a lot of these men who were protesting the WAP video protest any of T.I.'s video, 50 Cent's lyrics, when these black men are getting out here shooting up, bang, bang, gang violence, thug this, blood that, crip that. You don't see no outrage, okay? So we know that even with that patriarchy, like, women come under some extra scrutiny as a result. You don't see that same heat from men about men as you do their critiques about women. I support WAP. I support any woman getting it how they live out here. White people getting it how they live. Karen getting it how they live. Amy getting it how they live. Megan, get it how you live. I'm done.
How about that?
Well, I can't comment because I'm not in tune with it, so y'all can skip me on that. I'm sorry.
Captivating.
I agree with some of that. I don't think men have the room to tell women what's liberated. We've listened to tons of male artists, rap artists at that, talk about getting head and Doing Women and How They Like It Done and all these other rap songs and lyrics. And, for years. So the moment there are some women that want to express themselves in that manner, I say, kudos to you. On the other hand, what kind of message are you sending? I mean, yeah, we can say that, the children should not be watching that and the parents should be policing their children. But at the end of the day, these children are far more tech savvy than any of us were at their age. So it don't take much for them to, sneak away one moment and actually watch it. And being that they have peers who sometimes are more freely involved in what's going on in social media, they will get to see it at some point. So I'm just saying, like, what kind of we have to start being mindful of the images that we portray to our young men and young women, and how we want them to treat each other when they are of a certain age. That's all.
Jay, what's your standing on? Where do you stand on that?
All right, so let me start with the good thing first. The choreography was good. Their makeup was nice. The clothing was great. You know what I'm saying? And they were spitting out lyrics. Okay. But as far as I'm concerned, Constantine, I have to definitely disagree with you because white men control the music industry, and all I see is a plantation system, and the sisters are part of that plantation. And you know what? At the end of the day, it's about making money, and so it is what it is. I'm not mad because I don't listen to T.I. and I don't listen to those people for the mere fact that it doesn't represent who I am. And I ain't mad if you want to be a freak, but you got your house and all that stuff to do it. With this COVID, men already think women are that way. You just perpetuate that stereotype. I don't agree with black men doing it because I don't think that black men should be looking at women as pieces of meat. The sisters who are working, who have gotten their degrees and doing this, they don't need to be at the workplace with some weak-minded individuals thinking that this is what women really want. So I don't think they may represent a certain type of women, but they don't represent all women. All women don't feel like that's empowering. Yeah, you got some strippers out there, but how many want to really strip? So when you look at that, that's it. And Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion may have men with that kind of resource. But the women who watching this stuff, they ride that D and they can even get child support. Okay, so I ain't agreeing with it. I don't think it's women empowerment for the most part, and I don't agree with men doing it. I don't agree with women doing it. I think it's wrong on both ends. However, they are artists. They can do what they want to do, but this is why, as an audience and as a consumer, we can express how we feel about it. I don't think it's a good look. I just don't.
But there's definitely a double standard with that because you hear a lot of boys look at the videos like with T.I., Little Boosie, some of these other rappers that are demeaning. They demean women. Women are just pieces of or they objectify them.
Yeah, and that's what Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion were when the men were reviewing their thing. The men were talking about, ooh, look at that choreography. The gay men. The real, some of the gay men was talking about, ooh, that hair was flawless, and ooh, they were talking about it like
that's that. That's what sells, Jay. That's what sells.
But you make my point. You make my point. So the white record executives are making major money. Even though they're making money, those record companies are making money, and rap is now about being a hoe or being a gangster who getting the hoes. It is not like when it first started where you had diversity. It is only two gate points that you can come in. The gatekeepers say you got to either be a sexy, sex-crazed woman. You can't be intelligent. Or you're going to be a gangster, shoot 'em up, sex-crazed black man. Madonna can get away with that mess. but she can reinvent herself, and she's considered creative. But a black woman is considered a hoe when she do it. I'm just saying. And since we're gonna be real about society, let's be real about that.
What were you gonna say, Coach?
Huh?
What were you gonna add to that?
Well, something I was going to say, but I'm going to respond to what Bro Jay said just now. But that's exactly the issue, is that like we live in a society, once again, that benefits white women and white men, and we shouldn't harp on our black female creators who decide to also use sexuality the same way that Christina Aguilera does, the same way that Britney Spears does, the same way that Madonna does, and yet we consider them hoes and trashy and raunchy and tell them that they have the burden of carrying their entire community on their backs, while completely calling what Madonna does as art and performance art, and how creative.
I don't call it that.
How creative. But you just made a crucial point in terms of that is exactly how the world at large really sees it between white female performers and black female performers. I also want to say that I think the bigger question is not even to Cardi B or to Megan Thee Stallion, because you know what? The same community, especially the black community, we have our options between Jill Scott, Erykah Badu. There are plenty of other black female performers. And so the question is, for the black community, if y'all that stressed, if y'all are that pressed, if y'all are that bent out of shape about a Cardi B, about a Megan Thee Stallion, why you not filling up them arenas for Jill Scott? Since those women supposedly represent the more traditional women, why you not filling out them stadiums, okay, for your Erykah Badus who are clothed and covered from head to toe? See, I don't want to hear this hypocrisy from the black community. They want to critique and put those who we then disapprove of on top, and then don't even want to support the type of women and the type of artists who they claim they want to see more of. See, there's a reason why Jill Scott got to sell her album off of PayPal. There's a reason why Erykah Badu got to sell her album through Twitter and don't have the luxury of a Cardi B, because the people eating up a Cardi B cannot exist without the public support. Without the community's back.
You can't say the whole community, because some people do support Jill Scott, but you gotta realize that the record company wants Jill Scott to be that shaking hoe. That's why the first lady left the Black Eyed Peas, because she said, I refuse to sit there and shake my titties for these people for some money. So the bottom line goes back to the record execs again, because they know it sells, and somebody's going to be willing to do that. Somebody who's willing to do what they just did. So yeah, it ain't even about us supporting Jill Scott. Some of this stuff don't even have nothing to do with us. Some of this stuff has a lot to do with the record executives. Some of this stuff has to do with what they say you need to do to sell. Why you think we don't have Stacey Lattisaw? Because she refused to go up there and shake her butt and start wearing low riff, low cut stuff to be marketed like that. So I do not agree. And another thing about Madonna that you did mention, hell, I wish I could drive my car, and when I get stopped by a police officer, I could act crazy too and talk back to the police. But hell, I keep my arms on the steering wheel and have my license pulled out, because I may get shot. So there's a lot of things that we may want to do, but we can't do because we know we don't have that luxury. So until we start speaking out about it and start being conscious like yourself, then maybe things can change. But at this particular point, you are right. Money, sex, sells, and that's what the man wants. And when you are a commodity to them, they can go and get the next Cardi B or the next. And I hope the rap people realize something. You are not a fixture. You are dispensable.
You are dispensable.
Okay? Right. Little Kim is dispensable. Nicki Minaj will be dispensable because they don't care. Whoever will do their bidding, that's who they're going to use. I'm done. My hair all in my eyes.
Okay, you feeling yourself with that hair tonight. What you going to say?
I just wanted to add just one little part. We're not going to exude women who are very in touch sensually and sexually from the community of women at large. Women are not a monolith. So these women also represent women who enjoy sex. They enjoy money. They enjoy materialism. They enjoy nice things. They enjoy all these things that the rest of these glamorous male rappers rap about. I just think that the reason why sex sells is because the real honest to God truth, the average human being is having sex. It's one of the most relatable topics that you can, it's one of the most fundamental singular topics that all human beings can agree upon. You either, even if you're not participating in sex, your hormones are participating in the thought, in the interest, and the desire for sex. So sex is just a very baseline instinctual element that is just relatable. So it's always going to be something that appeals to the masses. But I'm not going to also act like these women do not represent and are not healthy. I love seeing women take agency over their bodies, take agency over their sexuality, to give sex up on their terms, in their way. That is a product of freedom. And we can't teach freedom for the feminine principle, but also bleed in and trickle in disrespectability politics like, oh no, we only want this type of a woman to have the microphone and the stage, and it's the Michelle Obamas, it's the Kamala Harris's, it's the whomever. That is a diverse group of people, and they all deserve a shot at the pie. They all deserve equal access. I would love to see other types of female performers also make it to the top just as easily, but I'm also very clear about why sex sells. It's just an easy go-to. The same reason why beef would get you limber. If I get out here and talk about spirituality, it'll take that video 3 days to get to 1,000. If I get out here and trick off on somebody's name, if I get up off here and play into the salaciousness, and it's because drama and conflict is also a fundamental part of our humanity. So of course, those things have quicker appeal. So yeah, I agree. I would love to see more versatility and diversity, but I also support these women who love their punani's, who love their breasts, and who utilize those things and give those things away on their own terms. Because in a patriarchal
prostitution, you get on something for tuition and that prostitution. Prostitution is the solution.
Artists will never be as big as pop artists.
Today, they can afford to do that. The folk who watch it, because music and lyrics are power, and we know music and lyrics are power. And it's really interesting. Those people listen to that stuff and follow that advice, because you think that everybody has a conscious mind to do better. There's some weak, low vibration, as you say, people who will follow that advice, and they think, they's trying to get that child support, but Rollo don't have no money, because he ain't balling like that. I'm done.
You've been done too. You've been done 2 or 3 times. So let me tell you. But sexuality does sell, because look at even back in the days with Josephine Baker. We don't even think about Josephine Baker singing. They always talk about the banana that she was dancing in. They talked about, look at Alina Horn and Carmen. I mean, when she was last showing a little bit more, sexuality is not a new thing for Black women. There was Janet. I'm a big fan of Janet, but it was more sexual to a certain extent. A lot of things were visual. We're visual beings. Gospel artists will never be as big as pop artists, or country artists will never be as big as pop artists. That's just the difference.
This is different. They're artists. This is the difference between an entertainer and an artist. Let's go ahead.
Right, but even though there's a difference,
they're not going to fill out the stadium what they do.
Showing skin a lot of times, Jay.
I ain't gonna get into that, because it's a lot of levels of things. There's a lot of levels.
It's like an onion. There are different layers, but people are more drawn to things. Even on YouTube, drama is going to draw more people. Sexuality and body is going to show. Instagram models that show a little bit more are going to get more views.
Yeah, we know that.
Now, on this video as well, you saw the girls laying next to each other. So there was some little hints of some
everybody was getting it. They were selling to everybody, boo. They were selling to everybody. Whatever. Trisexual, bisexual, they were selling it.
that goes next to our next question is it, I'm going to jump to this, which was number 8. Is it harder for lesbians or gay men to be accepted? Now, this video is not, they're not talking about the girl on girl action in the video. If that was men in that video, you know, it would be a totally different thing. So do you think it's harder for gay men or lesbians to be accepted? Which one, Jay Wilson?
Could you answer that question? Ask that question again.
Is it harder for lesbians or gay men to be accepted? I was using that video as an example.
I think it's easier for lesbians because, like I said, it's a man's fantasy for women on women, you know, and women have the luxury. I never forget when T.S. Madison was on, and she had a lady on. I cannot think of that woman's name now, but T.S. Madison asked her, had she dipped in the pond, and she said yes. And then T.S. Madison
Was that Neffy?
So T.S. Madison asked Neffy, so if the man had dealt with a man, would you marry him? And she said, hell no. What a double standard. You can dip in the ladies' pond, but your man can dip in the ladies' pond. It's still the same thing. You're still in a same-sex situation. So what's the difference? But because of that mindset, no. I guess it's a fantasy. And so it's okay if a woman does it, but it's not good for a man. Could you imagine men laying next to each other with snakes kissing each other? Oh my God. Yeah, they will shut it down. So I think it's easier for lesbians.
Captivating. Are you there?
Yeah, it is far more acceptable for women on women relationships than it is man on man relationships. Even in threesomes, it is an excitement, it is a fantasy. But if a woman said, "Hey, babe, how about I add another man to it?" The first thing, "Oh no, I ain't gay, I ain't doing that."
Touch me.
Huh? It's like, no, I got to be the only one. And it's like, why is that? Why can't a woman, if she wants to have 2 men, why couldn't she have 2 men? Why does that immediately have to be?
Rapunzel, can you calm down for a second?
Excuse me, who you talking about?
No, what you were saying, Cap.
Oh, it's like, why does that have to be something that is shunned? I mean, it's just, I don't know. It's just really weird. But yeah, seems to be that lesbian relationships or, you know, that kind of thing is more accepted than actual men. Because even women do it. You know, if you were to be like, "Oh yeah, I've dated, you know, men." "Oh no, you gay, never mind." You know what I'm saying? And it's and some men are just fluid like that, where they'll date, you know, both sexes and not have an issue. But some women will immediately discount that man because he's had relationships with another man.
Yeah, that's true. Conscious TV.
You can hear me?
Yes.
You darn right, lesbians is more easily acceptable in this society. They show is. They was picked on the basketball team before me. They was invited into the boys' spaces before me. They ain't had no problem getting they fade and they Timberlands in the barbershop when I'm pushing up in there with my hair down to my ankles, okay? I get a totally different type of reciprocation from the men. Now, we know why lesbian women are more palatable and digestible because, once again, this is a patriarchy. So anytime there's an assimilation to masculinity, it's going to be rewarded by those who creating the rules, which are men, particularly white men. In the Black community, particularly Black men, okay? So, and as Captivating Christian just said, it also plays into the gutter snipe fantasies of cis hetero men who, of course, want more the merrier. So, of course, more women in bed, the better. Now, let that woman ask that man for a threesome with another man. Of course, we're going to have a whole nother issue. Patriarchy is without balance. It does not appreciate and value femininity, which is why studs, masculine presenting women, and even masculine presenting same gender loving men have it a lot better in this society than people who are hyper feminine particularly trans women, particularly androgynous men, particularly non-gender conforming individuals. So yeah, patriarchy is twisted, and of course, hands down, lesbians and masculine presenting women have it much easier in acceptance than queer men, especially if you are a effeminate presenting queer male.
DJ, you're mute. Yeah.
You hear me?
Yes.
All righty. I agree with everyone. It's much easier for females to get away with it. It's almost normal. I'm not even gonna say the word almost. It is normal now for me personally to see two females, like a stud and a fish female together holding hands in the mall, versus you seeing two guys holding hands in the mall. It's almost normal.
Because he said that word.
But you know what I mean. You know what I mean. It's normal to see that. We recently had a lesbian mayor here in Houston a few years back, and I believe there's one over in Chicago. I think they do get a lot more credit than men do. It's they can get away with it. Even from a straight man's point of view, they like it when a woman is okay. Yeah, I'm bisexual. It's it turns them on. They like that. But if a man was like, okay, I'm bisexual, it's a turnoff for a woman. Oh, hell no. Ain't no man for to be bisexual. You like a man, you straight gay. Well, it's so much easier for a woman being a lesbian or being bisexual versus a man.
She used to be a lesbian. Now she's straight. So, and they can say, okay, well, that's what she used to do. Men, it's never they used to do it. They're always gay. If they had experience at 15 and they 55.
Exactly. Exactly.
Which is, what's up, Con?
I was just gonna say a prime example is Bob Marley, Brother J right here. When he came out as bisexual, everybody went straight to saying he was just gay.
Bob Marley, because I want to have hair.
Because that's exactly how that double standard is set up. Like if a man is to dare say in any remote way he's attracted to the same sex, he gets lumped as being gay. He's gay. A woman can talk about all her legs, can talk about all her experiences in colleges and everything, and she still gets to get away as being a full-blown, red-blooded, heterosexual person. But if a man if a man had a little salacious night with his male roommate back in 1992 and he got that booty hole stretched and wrecked up, see, he can't get away with that. He gonna get judged down to the ground. He probably got HIV. I mean, it's a whole situation that go on. But
if you think about it,
that's how that goes.
If you think about it, women, they do it all the time, and it doesn't have to be anything sexual. Oh, she's so pretty. Oh, she looks good in that dress. I love her hair.
Openly, and
or
it's
I'm
okay.
going to hang out with my girlfriends.
They all in the club. They get drunk enough. They start kissing each other, touching each other's breasts, whatever. It's
just that you mentioned this. I never forget when Cynthia was on the Real Housewives of Atlanta, admitted that she was in the ladies' pond. No one ever thinks that Cynthia is a lesbian. Not to say she is, but no one has an issue with that. Mm-hmm. So, but you know, Cordell. Portia's husband, you know, he could be bisexual. He could be many things, but, you know, they jump on that. And for y'all coming on, ain't nothing wrong with me. Everybody on this panel except Rebel got hair, and I wanted hair today. And if I wanted hair, damn it, I can wear hair today. Okay? Yeah, I can wear hair today. I may not have it tomorrow, but I'm going to wear it today. But anyway, and why are you trying to call me Bob Marley? You coming for me?
But it is definitely a double standard. It's a double standard, and it's all gear. It's the whole patriarchy, and it's definitely little boys. Any little boy, you go pick up a little doll. You're not supposed to play with that. A little girl can be playing all day with trucks, rolling around, and
I mean, hell, they let Peppermint Patty on the Peanuts. Okay, on Charlie Brown be a lesbian. Okay, Peppermint Patty. The girl called her sir, and nobody ain't never said nothing about Peppermint Patty.
Yeah.
Sir lesbian.
Yeah, because they are definitely afraid of that. They're like always, go play with them boys. Don't play with the little girls. That little boy's sweet. You know, they never say that little girl is a little rough. That the girl, you better stop it. She's stop it. She's gonna be a lesbian. It's always stop it. You're gonna be gay. You know. But that brings us to our next topic. What is your definition? Okay, because this could be a selfish thing as well. Sexuality. It's about me and not you. What is your definition of selfish? Do you consider yourself selfish based on your own definition? DJ.
I don't think I'm selfish. I think I have my selfish ways. I think we all at some point have our selfish ways at some point. But I am also a people pleaser. Let's not go left with that. But I'm a people pleaser, and I like to see others happy. You know, knowing that you have happiness in your heart makes me happy. Watch it, because I don't like that look, Rebel. Yeah, but like I say, because I live by myself, and this is not a brag. I'm not bragging, but I live by myself. And I pay my own bills. I have my own truck note. So when I have somebody else with me, I kind of tend to take a little bit more control. But the thing is that I recognize how far that I'm going. So I kind of hit the little submissive button and just kind of tone it down a little bit. So I'm aware of how far my selfishness has gone.
Okay. Conscious.
Selfishness. So I look at selfishness on a scale. Like there's a polarity or a duality. On one end is selfishness, on the other end is giving. Right in the middle of that is self-preservation, I believe. I think that selfishness is like unnecessary yet overwhelmingly like focused upon self, but I do think that there's a place to be self-preserving. I think that you can't be fully good and present for other people unless you know how to pull back and first pour into your own cup, take care of your own emotions, regulate yourself, make sure that your own bills are paid before you get to loaning out different situations. I think that I wouldn't consider myself selfish because I do way too much giving and giving away in my life emotionally, materially, but I definitely am king of preservation. When I feel low and I feel depleted on energy, I don't answer my phone. I don't text back. I don't give a good goddamn what people feel in that time where I'm on airplane mode. I mean, even our technology needs rest. Even it has a off button. Even it has an airplane mode setting. So I do believe in making sure that self is taken care of. But selfishness, yeah, I wouldn't say that I'm selfish, and I would encourage people who are to do a lot better.
Okay, Jay, what's your standing?
Now that Sheila Jackson lead unfinished over there. No, just kidding. No, I do agree with the Conscious TV though. I mean, I really do. There is a level, and you really need to be selfish with your time, because a lot of times we give to a lot of people and don't even give to ourselves. And I mean, you can't help anybody if you can't even help yourself. So yeah, I agree with him on that.
Captivating.
Selfishness. Well, I'm not a selfish person. I'm quite giving, but I do have my limits. Because like Jay Wilson and Conscious said, you can't give so much of yourself that there's nothing left for you. So I am very aware of what I'm giving, when I'm giving it, to make sure that I am giving enough and not too much of myself, to always keep that balance. And it's tough sometimes, because for me, a lot of times, if I'm doing something, I'm really doing it out of the kindness of my heart, and I could always be like, oh, I could do more. I could have done more. And I really have to stop myself. Like, nope, you're not doing no more. You just, that's it. So it's definitely a conflict from time to time. But yeah, you definitely have to make sure that you are, when you're giving, that you are giving enough of yourself, but not too much. Because there's no one to pour back into you.
You'll be depleted.
Yeah, and there's no one to pour back into you, like I just said. So
yeah, and I do think that sometimes it's okay. It's just okay to say, you know what, it's about me right now. Just because you can give so much that you do just feel less exhausted because you always try to be there for people. And even like on here, people may expect for you to. I always say people want to almost own a part of you. And the bigger your platform grows, there are more people reaching out, and you can't be there for everyone. And I had to make myself not feel guilty because I just wasn't able to spread myself so thin that I had to accommodate everyone. Sorry. Just to accommodate everyone, I felt. And I learned this a long time ago. People asking me to do stuff, and I'm just, okay, yeah, I'll take you to work. I'll pick you up. I'll do this. Yeah, you can will you? And I was like, nope, I'm tired. I work. Nope, find someone else. What happened to those people you were hanging with? No. And I didn't feel guilty about it. So I do feel you have to be selfish sometimes. You can't continuously give so much of yourself because you will deplete yourself. The next topic at hand is, have you ever had to walk away from someone you loved, cared for? If so, why? Captivating.
Yeah. For that very reason, when I love someone, or I consider you a friend or whatever, and I let you into that innermost circle that cancers have, there is no limit for me for that. So and when it's not being reciprocated, I do have to step back completely and separate myself from that person. And I don't have a problem not calling, not texting, not nothing, almost acting like you never existed, because that's just kind of sort of how it is. I don't know. I feed off the energy that I'm given. So once I'm not giving that in return, and it doesn't have to be to the magnitude in which I do, because I know when I give, it's a lot more than a person would normally give. But if I'm not getting that back, then okay, we good. And that's just that. Okay, Conscious.
Yeah, I'm about to walk away from Lil Wayne Wilson over here because I can't even bear this disrespectful rated R hairdo that he got pulled into a side pony.
Come on now.
Hindsight. But yes, I have had to walk. I recently had to walk away from a best friend of 3 years because he got a little too ahead of himself in this little salacious 3-week-old Instagram relationship to some random thought that he had just met, and he thought he was going to come and switch up on me as a result, and it wasn't going to happen. Now, word on the curb is him and the little heifer ain't even together. How about that? Okay? See, that's what you don't do when you want to expedite a little relationship, okay? Do you want to start rearranging everything that's going on in your life and rearranging all the solid relationships and friendships you got going on? I know this ain't meant to be a Dr. Phil venting session, but I just had to get it out my chest.
It ain't.
We'll love you down to the ground, but what I would never tolerate from anybody that I love is disrespect and disregarding. We can go through a lot of things. We can be broke together. We can be stupid together. We can have matching STDs together. It's a lot of things that can happen. But what's not going to happen is you're not going to disrespect me and you're not going to disregard me. And I don't care if the relationship is as old as Methuselah. When those two principles are infringed upon, you got to go. Period. Point blank. In love, love don't have me bound. I'm so sick of people using love as an excuse to stay in toxic behind relationships. If you love that person, you need to love yourself enough to stand up for what you need, what you deserve, and what your worth is. And using love as an excuse to stay beat up on, to stay disrespected and disregarded, that's some bull crap, and that ain't love. And somebody who truly love you ain't gonna even be putting you in them type of predicaments long term. I'm not saying that relationships sometimes don't get a tilt, but that should not be a long-term state of your relationship, your friendship, your familyship, your romantic ship, whatever it is. I'm going back on mute.
Jay.
Yeah, you have to walk away from people. I had a long-term friend in Cincinnati, and we went through a lot, but you get to the point where you can throw out a lifeline or that thing to pull people in. But I think sometimes people want you to dive in to pull them out, and when they drown, they'll drown you, and you trying to save them, and they're trying to drown you. And I just think that in some cases it's good to just step away, because you'll find yourself in the same situation and predicament. You know, I mean, never have anything good, everything going bad in your life, and then when you try to give suggestions, then they get upset about that, and that's not a healthy situation. And you got to get from that kind of stuff, because it is toxic, and that stuff will find its way to you, and you'll be depressed. And you know it's over when you hate people to call and you don't even want to answer the phone, because it's like, oh Lord, I'll call her back. You know. And don't get me wrong, I have friends who've gone through situations, but it's not on a daily basis. You know what I'm saying? I mean, every day is the same old thing. Every day somebody doing you wrong. Every day. So I had to walk away from that. And because it's not healthy. Yeah, I feel much.
No. It's definitely not. DJ.
I absolutely agree with Jay Wilson, because my situation is very similar.
Wait, somebody got some crickets in the background. Oh, okay. What were you saying?
am I clear?
Okay.
Testing.
Just a little. What were you saying?
Testing.
I'm sorry.
Okay. My situation is very similar to Jay Wilson. When you're to the point where I don't feel like being bothered, it's the same old thing. And Rebel, you actually may know who I'm talking about, but I actually had to walk away from somebody after years of being friends from college. And it was one of those situations where I'm not degrading anybody. I'm calling it like how I see it. It's one of them situations where you grow up to being an adult, while the other person is still doing things that we did in our teenage and early 20 years. You're not on that level anymore. And now that person begins to bash you because they think that you too good for this and too good for that. That's not what it is. You're totally missing my point. I don't do that stuff anymore. You know, now that I'm in my 30s, I'm not getting up 11, 12 o'clock, getting ready to go out. I did that already. I'm ready to go to bed. I can't do that. And all this, oh, well, I met such and such. This person here was so fine. Let me tell you about this person that I met. Let me tell you, I don't want to hear that all the time. Let's talk about some like real life stuff that's worth my time. And I had to walk away from that. And to Jay Wilson's point, when that person would call, and I'm not bothered, because I don't want to be bothered. I know what the conversation is going to be based on. And when I try to interrupt, I'm talking. Yes. I'm talking. Really, you know who I'm talking about now. You know who I'm talking about now. And it really did hurt me to let that person go, but I can't progress if somebody's pulling me back. I got to move on. Now, I'm not saying that We left on bad terms. If he needed me, if he was homeless, if he lost his job, whatever, I would be there. I just had to just walk away. Actually, I had to distance myself. Let me use that terminology. I had to distance myself from that person.
Yeah, because I was there and I saw how toxic that person was. Hell, the person was toxic towards me as well. And you hadn't known him longer, but when he started doing it with me, I was like, it's a done deal. Nope.
And then it used to be like that. It didn't used to be like that. And I believe what the problem was is that everybody has matured and they was doing anything possible to get attention. I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
Hey, what about me? I'm here. Let me do this. Don't do all that. Be chill. Be relaxed. Stop trying to read people that you don't know. You're not in the clique like that.
Yeah. He was doing the most.
The most.
You know what? You know this person as well, DJ. I was in a relationship with someone, and this person he didn't drink every day, but when he did drink, it's like he made up for the days he didn't drink during the week. Yeah. Or every time I talk to you, why you smoking every day? You smoking green, not one time a day, not 2 times a day, but probably like 4 times a day. And it was just it irritated me. And I just got to the point where I was like so snappy with him. And I had to realize I love you, but I love myself enough to walk away. And
absolutely.
It was almost when I did in that relationship, I felt like the floodgates were open. It was like I felt as if I was free. Because I was always worried about him. You know, is he gonna have an accident? He drinking. You know, even when we broke up, I still was like, I was the one that would always reel him in and be like, you've had enough to drink. You're doing too much. Baby, I flushed the green down the toilet. Nope, I'm tired of this. I remember. Baby, I was so I realized that I was becoming something, and I grew up around abuse in my family. I grew up around domestic abuse, and I saw myself kind of snapping quick on him, and I knew if I didn't catch myself, it was easy for me to mimic what I had grown up seeing. So I had to back away and love him from a distance. We're friends now, but I had to let him go because of that. And, you know, for me, and it's strange because I've grown and went to different levels when he's still at one place and still doing the same thing that he was doing when we were together.
Okay, but Rebel.
But yes.
Okay, I know you learned your lesson about him, but have you also learned your lesson about using those Boost mobile dating apps? Because
I didn't meet him on the app.
Because I've been trying to tell you about those Boost mobile Play Store dating apps to pick up these men, and you wondering why you is meeting drunk Derek all week long. We're gonna have to pay for some memberships now for these dating apps, you know, because you get what you pay for out here on these apps. No, okay.
No. And I think that the apps serve a purpose because not all people on apps are looking for sex. But I think when you lead with something else, if you have a profile and you have naked with your cakes out, that's all they're going to be looking at. But you can't lump everybody that go on a app to meet someone. It depends. Now, if you're on Grindr, the name itself will say what they're probably looking for. Now, there are well, maybe coffee afterwards that morning. But I think that this person, because I think people have to lead with more conscience than just looks. Looks get old. You're not going to stay the same. When you're 70, you're not going to look as you did when you were 20. So you have to have something more to bring to the table. This guy I was with was attractive, nice body and everything. But I said that wasn't enough to keep me. Because he would still be with me to this day if it was, if I said yes. But, wasn't going to work.
Can I ask a segue question? It could just be a yes or no, like based upon what you just said. how important are looks to everybody on the panel in terms of a long-term relationship? Like, where would you rank sex appeal or the need to be?
25% for me. It's like 25%. I say looks are 25%.
Rebel, stop it, darling, stop it, Humpty Boo Boo, stop
Everybody
it.
in the chat, I want y'all to say what y'all think looks are to you.
Rebel, I know you just didn't say a whole 2.5%.
Yeah, but you know what, though, Conscious, though, to be honest, when you get older, that stuff, well, I don't know. When you get older, first of all, I want you to be stable.
Because you can be attractive
to have a conversation when we're amongst friends. So you have to be attracted to people. You know, the second serious relationship I was in, the person had braces. And I thought that was attractive, but he was smart. And I was
make braces unattractive. Braces.
No, but no. Some people do. But I thought,
to get
I
in a way.
thought he was very smart, and not that he was a dentist. And you know what? And he wasn't a slim guy at that time. He wasn't. But I was attracted to him, his intelligence, but I was attracted to it. So what may look good to you may not look good to everybody else.
Right. That is true.
Older. So yeah.
What's your percentage, Conscious?
100.
Oh, Jesus.
Captivating. What's your percentage?
Nah, it's about ranging in between 50 to 75%. Because everything else, you gotta have something. For me, you gotta have something else to bring to the table. Like, yes, initially I'm going to see you and think, okay, you're attractive. But once you open your mouth, them numbers drop real quick if you talking foolish. And So initially, yes, it's you can give me about 75 to 50 initially. But once you open your mouth and you start, spewing what your inner thoughts are, and they really make no sense to me, yeah, we ain't got nothing to talk about.
And you know what, Cap? But with that being said, initially, because we're not dogs, we don't smell each other. We're not scent based.
No, we're visual people. You know what I'm saying? We're visual. We go off of visuals. So,
but to remain with someone, how important after you talk? Okay, after the first meeting, when you went out to lunch or something, how important are looks after that?
After that, no, and looks become not that important because I know, as you get older, things change, situations change, and the person may not look the same. Hell, you could be driving in a car, God forbid, with the person, or the person could be driving to you and get into some sort of accident. Then they all rearranged, but then you have to think like, okay, what about that person other than their looks? Now that's different.
What if it happened to you? What if you were the person?
Exactly. That too. You start to think like, okay, well, what do I have to bring other than just, what I look like, my aesthetic that would, keep somebody around? Because, especially in this quote unquote lifestyle, as people like to say, it is really all about looks first and foremost. Like, it's all about looks. You gotta look great. You gotta have, some sort of body, something like that. Other than that, it's like, you don't really get, that kind of, oh, I want you. Some people you got to get to know after a while and be like, oh, okay, I think he's cool. And that shouldn't be, but it is from my experience. What I've experienced is definitely very much, oh my God, you're so attractive. Oh my God. And it's just like, there's more to people. There's so much more to people than just what they look like.
Well, if it's based on the physical, you'll lose them when you get a little older because everybody's not going to look the same, and physical people are always looking for the next best physical thing. So,
well, I mean, but again, a lot of people aren't thinking about that. They think
that's not even the LGBTQ community. That's anyone. And sometimes we set ourselves up because we allow heterosexual people to get off the hook too. Don't think that they're not looking at stuff as well. I mean, how did he look? Da 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 da. They do the same thing.
No, I understand that, but it is highly prevalent. It is highly prevalent in our communities.
Yeah, it's how
women look more for stability. Women look for more stability instead of looks a lot of times.
Right. Ain't no man. There's no that I've witnessed, especially growing up when I was younger, that they were like, "Oh, what's your credit score? What are you looking to do in 5 years?" Da, 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 da. It was instantly like, "Ooh, you look good. Like, let's go." And the person could actually be nothing, but it was just that instant. As soon as everybody, if enough people were looking at that person, it was more like, "Let's go get. Like, I gotta have him," just because he was drawing attention, from the way he looked.
I'm like the I'm like the credit score people. Yeah, I'm like the credit score people. What's your credit score? Because at the end of the day, you don't be taking care of nobody.
Oh, and I was just gonna say, I hear what everybody's saying and everything, but I just feel like, as a Scorpio, the most important part for me is the freak level in the bedroom, and I really do a lot of my therapy in the bedroom, under the sheets. So sexual attraction is just a real big deal to me. I don't care nothing about you coming into this relationship with a bad attitude. I'll humble you. I don't care nothing about you coming into this relationship being stupid. I'll put some books in front of you. I don't care nothing about you coming into this relationship broke. I'll get you a job application. I don't care nothing about none of that, because I feel like all that other stuff is edible. I mean, if I gotta sit in front of you and get you into the sunken place to turn you into the type of man that I need to be,
how do you know that?
All type of witchcraft, all type of spell, you exactly what I need you to be.
Yeah, but how do you know that off break? I mean, being a cancer myself, I feel you. How do you know that off break? You don't know that right off the bat until you get to that sexual prowess.
But you know what? Just like the gentlemen are different, everybody sees things different. I'm not mad at Conscious, because if that's what he wants, if you get out of prison and you are hunk and you can handle things, he'll get you some teeth and all that stuff, whatever you need. Some people like that. I ain't mad. Some people are physical, but my thing is, I just like. I mean, that's the whole thing. You I don't know. Like I said, everybody's different.
DJ, what's your standing on that? DJ,
am I clear? Because I was getting static. Just let me know if I'm good.
I hear Jiminy Cricket in the background, like rubbing his legs together.
Hold on, you guys.
Here we go.
Oh, you a shady old something, child. Shady boo.
Hold on. Is that better?
Oh, yes. That's much better.
Yes, much better.
Hey. Just, can I get a thumbs up from the chat?
All right. Okay.
Thank you, Michelle's daughter.
Lord. So what percentage of looks to you?
That's the question.
How do you, after you had a conversation with someone and you're going out to dinner or something, after that first date, how important are looks to you? What percentage?
Well, let me start at the beginning, before the date. I'm kind of with Cap on that. It's anywhere between 50 and like 70%. When I was younger, you had to be this, you had to be that, you find this. Now that I'm older, I look at things a little bit differently, because I've dated some of the finest, but they were, excuse my language if you will, but they were complete assholes and selfish. And you're not going to be in the mirror more than me, especially now that I got this hair. That's how it was. And I don't want to feel like I don't want to feel like I'm in competition with somebody that I'm dating. So,
But isn't that an insecurity?
What do you mean insecurity?
If you feel like you competing, because
no, that's what I'm saying. I don't want to feel like I'm in competition because of somebody.
Perhaps.
Hang on. With somebody that looks good and they cocky about it and they have this arrogance about it, I don't want to, because I've dealt with that before. But now that I'm older, I look at What do you have to bring to the plate? What do you have to offer? What kind of personality do you have? I could be with somebody that's average, that can make me happy, versus somebody that's 100% attractive and I'm miserable. I can do without that.
Yeah. I mean, you don't want to make a person a project and start trying to mold them into something, because they may be resentful if you start doing all that.
Unless you conscious TV because he's blonde, but it should be on a one-on-one basis, boo.
He's yellow.
It should be a one-on-one basis, okay? I mean, you know, everybody don't live in the Potomac and, you know, those places. So it should be a one-on-one basis. And the thing is, I don't need to mold anybody. Maybe Conscious TV is 25 years old, but I'm 50. I don't need to be molding nobody. You need to be a grown person. You need to have your stuff together. And at the end of the day, attractive is many things. It's having your stuff together, grooming yourself, having good
exactly
those things. Making sure that your bills paid, you know, being interested in what I have to, you know, like I said, I'm interested in you, you interested in me. You have to have a mutual respect for one another. And like DJ said, it's not insecurity, but people who are very, very attractive think everybody want them. Nobody don't have time to be dealing with that stuff. Nobody don't have time to be hearing that because
everybody don't think that. That's not
right.
True. Everybody doesn't think that.
Not everybody, but some.
In my experience, captivating. We know you're gorgeous, but in my experience, yeah. So I'm just talking about my experience.
Okay.
Well, I took that hat. Let me put this hat back on because I was common with this hat. Okay.
Because some people might have this. You're popular because you're with me type of attitude. I'm not about that life. I'll make me who I am.
Yeah, but understand that everybody, like, you meet people where they are. So everybody may not be on the level where you are. So then you're not going to turn them away because they may not be on a level where you are. So somewhat like Conscious was saying, there's something about them that will attract you. And then there's something that they may not have. But what you will do is you will compensate for that. So if they don't, you know, they ain't up on current events as you would like them to be and all that kind of stuff. So what you will start feeding stuff like that to them.
Right, but I'm talking about looks though.
Yeah, I dated somebody who was in the last minute of law school, and that's about the more than I was going to do because I have a good life after law school. All right,
but that's my point, DJ. It's like, okay, the looks part you got past because it was like, okay, they checked that box off for you, right? So then you get to dig deeper and you realize, okay, ain't much enough in there.
Did he freeze?
And then what do?
It has to be
because
balanced,
you are already kind of, I like this person. You continue on. So you feed them whatever it is that they're missing that, you know, you would like to see more of to keep that kind of fire going past what they look like. That's all I'm saying. We just
I understand. I mean, at some point it's about growing together.
But DJ though, don't listen to that bleeding heart liberal. I'm a moderate in that. Okay, I'm a moderate in that. Because he sounds like a bleeding heart liberal right then and there.
First of all, I am very independent in my thought and voice. Okay,
and that's what I just said. You sound like a bleeding heart liberal. I mean, some things you need to have together. Some things you need to get together. I'm not sitting here trying to school you. You should know this. I'm not trying to do all of this. I mean, get it together. But
there are plenty of people. There are plenty of
young man.
Listen. Nobody has it all together. Nobody has it all together. You can sit here lying to yourself, saying that you with people that got it all together. You don't even have it all together. We don't have it all together.
But have something.
Right, but that's my point. That is my point.
I'm not saying, and I gotta wait for you because you don't
have it together. Have it all together. We all don't have it together. We don't have it together.
Okay.
Somebody else come to your table with a full platter is ridiculous. That's not real. That's not real. It's about being real and being factual.
Prison trade.
But real is.
Oh Lord, everyone has their own preference.
Exactly.
Whatever,
And you know what? It's best to, you find what works for you. Do what works for you.
Yeah, I mean, of course, that's paramount. Of course, you're gonna do what works for you. But my point is that when somebody goes, I want somebody to bring something to the table, everybody's gonna bring to the table what they have, and it's not gonna be a full platter. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
Well, nobody asking for a full platter, but nobody want no cookies and punch at no wedding reception. Okay.
Well,
some people may want that.
Just I don't know. Just.
Bring some fried food.
But if you look at you gotta look in the grown-up section.
I don't know what it is either. Just.
Okay.
So what's the next question? Because you know what, Conscious started saying.
This train has ran down the side of the mountain. Next question. What is something that someone has said or done to you that you would not forgive, DJ?
I don't think I've had that experience. So I don't know. I'm gonna have to pass on that one. I mean, I'm sure people have said some hateful or done some hateful things to me, but I'm confident in who I am and what I do. So I brushed it off and I move on. And even in the near future, people might continue to do things or say things. And I don't mean just friends or out of public, just people on my job, maybe even certain cousins because of my sexuality. And I know there has been some things that have been said about me from what I hear, but never directly to my face. So I just continue to do what I'm doing and I'm proud of me. Period.
Okay, Jay.
I'm kind of on the same thing as DJ. Of course, I've been on YouTube, but that situation I considered a job. So, subcontractors, it really didn't matter. But, if you don't forgive, then, it'll hold you back. And I think sometimes just because you forgive, that don't mean you forget. You mean that you've forgiven that person, but I think forgiveness is for you. You move on. So I haven't had that situation. I've had some ugly things said, but not to the point where I can't forgive anyone. And of course, because of my spirituality, I'm going to forgive people. I may not forget. I may do things a little differently around that particular individual and adjust some things, but I've not had that situation happen.
Rebel, can you repeat the question again? Somebody's asking what the question was again.
What is something that someone has said or done to you that you would not forgive? Physical abuse. Yeah, okay. Captivating.
There's nothing that I can't forgive because forgiveness is not for them, it's for me to move on. And sometimes in that moment when you're away from the person, you realize that it really wasn't you. It was all about whatever they were going through and them. It doesn't excuse it. You know it. You've gone through it. Thank God you made it out. But, I can't live in that place. So yeah, there have been plenty of things, even dealing with my own family members, which we're dealing with right now, that
thank you for the super chat. Awesome.
I can forgive, but I can't forgive, but it's always there to be a reminder that there's just a level that I have to keep you in order to keep myself sane and be able to move forward. But there's nothing really that I've been through that I can't necessarily say I can't forgive, because again, it's for me to move on, and I can't grow holding on to what the person has done to me, because at the end of the day, they're living their lives and not thinking nothing of the pain, of the hurt that they caused. So why should I? Because it serves me no purpose.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Conscious TV.
I ain't been in a situation yet that I haven't been able to forgive. There have been some things that took me some time to forgive, but nonetheless ended up being forgivable.
Right.
I think that one of the things that people conflate is me forgiving you means that I gotta F with you, and those
Right.
those two things are not mutually exclusive, baby. I will forgive you down to the ground eternally, and then
Right.
Let's keep it moving.
we'll never speak to you again.
Ever.
Again. The only thing that I can imagine being remotely unforgivable is if anybody comes up in my chateau and mess with my box of units. Now that's an abomination. That's the unpardonable sin. Your name will not be found in the book of life if you come and mess with any of this, okay? Because this, as a collection piece, it probably makes up some people's 401k altogether. So that's completely unforgivable. But I've been through divorce. I've been through breakups. I've been through friendship breakdown. I've been through the loss of my mother. There was a point in time where I was feeling a way about the Lord when my mom passed away. And I've even been able to forgive God. So everything is forgivable.
I'm not sure God
Okay, Bob Marley Wilson, I ain't asked for your ad lib on that because I know you're
the has gone. All right.
But you know what? I agree. But I think you can forgive people. But when I do forgive you and let bygones be bygones, I'm gonna keep it moving. We're not gonna be breaking bread. We're not gonna hang out with each other. It's just that you have to forgive them so it doesn't become cancerous with yourself, and you carry that around with you. So I definitely, because there are people that have done things, and I still have been around them. But I know that they're not about anything and they're miserable ultimately. So your misery, you can stew in that and just dwell at that place. But I'm going to keep it moving.
Yeah. Can I add to that real quick?
Sure.
I just want to say, as a metaphysician speaking spiritually, a lot of church people got it right when they said that I'm not going to let what you did to me or not forgiving you stop my blessing. What they're really talking about in that is the actual law of attraction. Your emotions and your thoughts have energetic value that range from high to low. When you vibrate low, you literally are stopping your own bag in life, because prosperity, abundance, all those things come from a high frequency dimension, and if you around here been out of shape because so and so done did this, or so and so done left you, or so and so don't see it for you, or so and so done fired you, or so you put you up for adoption, that person, let me tell you how fair the universe is. God set the laws up so that if your enemy forgives themselves while you over here bent out of shape for them, and they getting their vibration back up and getting that BMW, getting that new job, getting all the accolades, and you over here feeling like crap, baby, that's going to be on you. The Lord not going to keep nothing away from the person who did something to you if they can forgive themselves. God going to let that person move right on forward into their glory. So if you want what's yours, you need to keep that same energy, keep your spirit, give that hurt and that burden to the Lord. Don't let nobody, family, mama, daddy, cousin, brother, spouse, boss, friend, keep you from all that God got for you, which is a prosperous and abundant.
Yes.
Come on.
That's very well said, Conscious. That's very well said.
All right, Reverend Conscious. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Angeles. Okay. Next question. What do you do when your parents don't like or are consistently rude to your partner? Do you pick a side, limit their interactions, or end the relationship? Conscious TV.
I've always let my family know that they are completely disposable. I will unchoose you. Believe that. I have a take no crap attitude. When it comes to spouses and parents, honestly, the way that my whole integrity work in all relationships is, I'm standing on the side of who's right. I'm not standing on title. Some people feel obligated to choose their mama because it's their mama. Some people feel obligated to choose their daddy because it's their daddy. Some people feel
mama wrong with two left shoes.
Right, like I'm standing on principle. Whoever is on the side right is who I'm going on. And I mean, if I was in a situation where my partner and my parents didn't get along for whatever reason, I mean, I would try to obviously work toward repairing things. But I mean, I guess at the end of the day, if the lesser of the two evils was keeping them apart, I mean, I would. But I ain't breaking up with my man just because you ain't feeling her mama. I ain't breaking up with my piece of dick because you ain't excuse your piece of dick when I came into the world, regardless of how me and my brother felt about the sperm donor you chose. So I ain't about to slide my piece of man because you pressed and you in your feelings, okay? I'm gonna let you have your feelings. We ain't gotta have a conversation about them. I ain't gotta talk to you about them. I got 24,000 other relatives I can confine in if I need some relationship therapy or counseling or wisdom or whatever the case may be. But yeah, I'm choosing the side of right. And if that means that mama right, then I'm gonna have to correct partner. If that means that partner right, I'm gonna have to correct mama and daddy.
Okay, DJ.
I could not agree more with Conscious. I really couldn't. He is absolutely right. It's about principality. I stand on who's right, and I have not been in that situation, but if I was in that situation, I wouldn't dare have to pick. I wouldn't want to have to pick, okay, my parents or my partner. I'm gonna pick for who's right, and whatever situation that we're in at the time, this is what's happening. These are the results. We have to move on. But I don't see my parents meddling in my relationship business. So I don't see where a conflict would even flare up anyways.
Okay, captivating.
Well, my family already knows. Don't come with me no bullshit because we're gonna have a problem. But yeah, like everybody said, I'm definitely on the side of who's right principle. If I need to address you, whomever you are, I will address you, and that'll be it. You know, and if you don't talk to me for 2 weeks, 2 months, whatever, that's fine. You'll get over it and we'll move right along. Yeah, because I've always been that way. I've been that way since I was a kid. So there is definitely no difference in that. But yeah, on the side of principle.
Okay, Jay.
My family loves my partner.
We're not talking about your boo and your family love your partner. We said if it was someone else and you was in that scenario, we know you love boo and boo is your whole world. We know this.
I mean, I'm just saying they get along with him, but I love my parents and I love my partner. So if there was an issue, then you know what? We wouldn't have to see each other. We would limit the situation. I would go with the middle. We would limit it, but we will be doing some things behind the scene for peace. But at the end of the day, we just have limited relationships.
And you know what? And I've been in a situation, I've observed someone in the situation. It wasn't me. But I'm with Conscious, DJ, Cap. I mean, because, listen, this is the person who I'm with. I love this person. You love my dad, and I may say he ain't no damn good. But I'm with this person. This person may be the person that I'm married to one day. And if I'm married to him, he trumps you. And mama, people be like, well, Big Mama used to say this. Big Mama had a damn 8th grade education and had never been out of the town that she was raised in. What the hell do Big Mama know about the whole world?
But Rebel, you bring to the point. It depends on your family dynamic. It depends on your family dynamic. I'll be damned if somebody in my family would say something. I'm like, DJ, they may say something behind my back, but they damn well ain't gonna say nothing in front of me.
Yeah, because they know better. But that's what I mean when I say what I say.
Family dynamic, and
no, if they come back to me, I'm checking you at the door.
Well, like I said, it's a family dynamic. And as a person who's gone through that, I didn't have that issue, and most of my friends don't have that issue. I mean, maybe because they're older, but at the end of the day, yeah, it depends. It depends on that family dynamic, because some families are going to be accepting and some families are not. And that's the whole thing. So if you're in these relationships and your family is not, then you're going to have to make that decision. I'm gonna be with my partner no matter what. But some folk don't have that situation.
You know, I had to tell my aunts that because my grandfather has been with my step grandmother for many, many years, but they generally don't care for her too much. But they're like, we're his daughters. We got to say, I said, no. If he died today or tomorrow, she can make it where you can't even see him at the funeral. It's her word is trumping your how you feel, and this is my father, and he my blood, and she just married to she his wife.
Cleveland,
her word is gonna trump yours anyway.
That's Bible. Cleave and leave.
But you know, I had someone that I would hear people say, "Well, my mama said this," and I said, "Well, didn't your mama? It's 6 of y'all, and all of y'all got different daddies, and you sitting up here saying that your mom was telling you about a relationship."
I will say this, Rebel, though. On top of that, I will say this. If my family had something to say because there were some concerns, I would consider it because they're not the type that has done anything to give me caution anyhow. So it depends on, again, it depends on family. If you come from a family where it's broken and folk, yeah, it depends on family.
If your big mama was a hoe, how she gonna tell me about having a relationship?
It's a family dynamic.
Now, I'm not gonna let Big Mama, that's the state of East Texas, her whole life and only finished 5th grade, tell me about a relationship and life like that. She can have some experiences that I can get, but if you had a problem with my partner is the person who I am with.
And that's
if you hang out with gay people, if you come to my house and we have a picture on the wall with us kissing, your religious Bible thumping mama can stay her behind out.
And that's the same way I feel about religious leaders. How you gonna come over here and didn't even crack a study or go study under anybody, but you want to tell me XYZ about XYZ? So I feel the same way about some religious institutions myself. So.
Okay.
All right. I hope you get it together now. I'll tell you. Come on now.
Right. I was gonna ask you, what is a compliment that someone has? What's the best compliment that you've ever gotten, DJ?
Well, that's easy. A year ago on my job, I was complimented on the work that I do, my being on time, I'm reliable, et cetera, et cetera. I got promoted to my own office. I've never had a job where I actually have my own executive office, not to mention that of all the women there, I'm the only guy with my own, the only black guy too, on top of that, with my own executive office. So just to get that good feedback from my manager meant a lot. And also, like my mother, my aunts, they give me a lot of good feedback too, because they always say you are that cousin that everybody comes to if they need advice. Or they'll call me, hey, can you, because they know I'm very strong in church. And, hey, can you pray for me? I'm going through this situation. My mom tells me all the time, you should have been a counselor because you're always resolving everybody else's issues. And it might sound like it's draining, but it's really not, because it's so easy to me. And I think that God gives me the ability, the wisdom to do it. I can do it in the snap of a finger, and I don't lose no sleep behind it.
I think that you are definitely a person that, as a friend, I always know I could be broke down on the far end of town. I know if I called you, you would be there.
Yes.
And I appreciate that.
I can hear from my phone for you.
What'd you say?
Nothing.
Jay Wilson.
I love you too. Thank you.
The best compliment I got was from my father to say that, you know what, I am glad you are my son. I think I was finishing my degree in seminary, and that meant a lot. So, you know, from my dad. And so that was the best compliment I could have ever got.
Conscious.
Oh man, hands down, the best compliments that I've ever gotten and continue to get, and Lord willing, hopefully continue to receive, is when the people around me tell me that they're changing for the better because of me. I love when people around me are evolving, when my contribution to their life in some way is elevating them and making them better as a person. I think that that's ultimately like, when I think about what I want my legacy to be, it's going to be in what I contributed to folks' lives, like what I contributed to their transformation. And so anytime that my friends always kind of put on, you know, a testimony of me or my family or my grandmother, like I'm really big on family, I'm really big on friends, I'm really big on community. And so just when people feel better as a result of having me around, like when their lives feel better, when their being feels better, that's that brings me to tears. Not when I have makeup on, because the beat is real, but when I'm barefaced and then those compliments come, the tears, you know, it's a total girl show. Best thing ever.
Cap.
Definitely two things. One, the inspiration I get from people that aren't politically savvy, that actually come and remind me of stories and like, hey, did you watch this? Did you see this? Lets me know that they're engaged and that what I'm doing is not in vain. That's definitely one of the greatest compliments. The other one was from my mom.
Some tips. I was talking to Conscious TV.
Was from my mom. She was definitely transitioning. I guess I was unaware of the transition because I wasn't mentally thinking about it. But, you know, the doctors were asking her questions, and she's always been a very strong, like, you know, whatever I say goes. I can listen to you, but I don't hear what you say, kind of woman. And for her to look at me and say, well, what do you think I should do? I was like, what? And that moment just let me know that she valued my opinion and my concern for her that much, that, you know, she was willing to allow herself to just let me, you know, whatever decision I made, it was up to me to put in her hands. So I was definitely very honored by that. And I will always keep that with me. So, yep, those are the two moments.
Can I just say this to Christian? As captivating as he is, I want to thank you for coming into my life and bringing politics around you, making me more politically savvy as a result. So I just want to thank you, captivating.
I want to reiterate something.
You're welcome.
What were you going to say, DJ?
I want to reiterate something that I said. In the beginning, I said that I'm strong in my church, but I meant to say that I'm strong in my faith. Because I know church hurt, and church folks is no different than the folks in the club. They sinful, and they say things and they do things that are hurtful. Because I've been through an experience. I was in this group at my church. Usually after every service, people who want to recommit their lives to God or get saved, I used to be in that group. We would bring them to the back, and we would pray for them. You'll have somebody, I'll have somebody, we pray for them. So a rumor got back to the leader of that about my sexuality. They called me up in the back about that, and I never went to my pastor about it. I just let it go. But they called me in the back about it, and I told them, yes, this is, but what that has to do with anything? They told me that they need people with clean hands, meaning that my life is sinful. Let me tell you something. There's no hurt like church hurt. Exactly. And I'm like, okay, me and half of y'all probably running y'all asses, excuse my language, to the casino.
Okay.
So it's no different than what my lifestyle has nothing to do with anything. So I wanted to reiterate that I'm strong in my faith. Church is good. Church is okay. It's good because I don't always understand the Bible. I need somebody to explain it to me, but I'm strong in my faith, and my faith is what's brought me out of a whole lot of things.
You know, church people with these idiot clean hands. Really, really? My hands clean. I just washed them.
Yeah.
And here's another thing. How can isn't the point of Jesus is shedding his blood because nobody's hands was clean?
Exactly.
It wasn't even
clean. He knew no sin became sin for us. according to the Christian scriptures.
According
started with church folk.
Exactly.
Yeah, the only scripture they know is Jesus wept and can quote them, but don't know them.
Exactly. And you know, the girl who does my hair, she used to sing for our church, and she is proposed to another woman, and they put it on Facebook. That got out to the church, and they asked her not to sing anymore. Wow. They want a perfect image where nobody is perfect.
Wow.
Yeah. They used to make the church I used to go to, which was sad. The girl, young lady got pregnant, and they made her apologize to the church. I'm like, well, did the church get her pregnant? Is the church pay for the baby?
Apologize.
She apologized to the church for something she doing. That's her business.
Jay Wilson, it's funny you said that because, and I wasn't even going to say that. It's so funny how it's funny you said that. Not funny, but it's a coincidence because I was the only person that got asked to leave. Another woman got asked to leave because she got pregnant from out of wedlock. And her husband, nobody knew who the boyfriend was. They asked her to step down. It was the both of us. So yes, that they do stuff like that. And I'm like,
Mary wasn't married to Joseph.
Exactly. Exactly.
Anyway,
exactly.
Don't
get because I could go on all night.
Look, we'll be here at 10 o'clock. We'll be talking about the church. You know, I had a friend that was bad. He got hooked on drugs, and I used to always tell him, you need to do something with yourself. You're really screwing your life up. What are you going to do? Wake up drunk somewhere in somebody's house and not know how you got there? You're going to run off the road. What are you doing? Because you're really effing up. But every time he would come to me, I would tell him, listen, I love you as my friend, but those people are cheering you on because you get high with them. That's why you're fun, because you get high with them. They can function still, but you don't function. When you get on drugs, it just takes you out. So after I said that, he ultimately went to something in the background, went to rehab. And he told me some years later, you know, I really appreciate you being hard on me like that, because you don't even realize a lot of what you said, it saved my life, because you told me things that other people weren't telling me. They weren't telling me I was screwing up. They weren't telling me I used to tell him, you're almost 40 years old. What the hell are you going to be doing? Sleeping on someone's couch forever? Dude, they telling you got a nice body and all this and that. 25 nice body is not the same. Your body's not going to be the same at 60, and you're going to still be sleeping on someone's couch
and doing drugs.
So he got so bad that I saw him one time on the Metro Rail, and I didn't even recognize him because he was so emaciated, and he just looked so bad. And it's like he avoided me. When I saw him, it was like he was embarrassed for me to see him. But I saw him, and it's like I wanted to cry because he looked so different from what I had seen him. There was a progression, but it was like a period of time went by and he just went downhill. He got clean. He started being a counselor. And when he told me that, it was just like, wow. I didn't think that what I said, I thought he was just pissed off because I used to always ride his back all the time. But, you know, that was something that really.
No pun intended.
Okay. You know what? Anyways, but I think that I think that was something that it really touched me when he said that. It really did. And next question, which is totally way on another different spectrum. What was the most terrifying situation you have ever been in, Jay Wilson?
My most terrifying situation was landing into Salt Lake City when I was a flight attendant and the landing gear would not come down, and we was trying to burn off fuel because we would probably have to land, without that. It was scary, but the landing gear finally came down. But that was a scary point in time, and I couldn't be scared because I couldn't allow the customers, the people to see, me scared. I just had to go over my mind. How would I evacuate these people, get them off this plane? I had another flight attendant and she was freaking out. I'm like, look, get yourself together, you know. But it was a nerve-wracking situation. And so I remember that. And but we got through it. That had to be a scary point in time, because no time ever working in the airline industry that I had something, you know, that catastrophic, or it could have been a bad situation. So that was a scary point.
Conscious? Your mute is on.
You guys hear me?
I was like doing sign language. Okay.
You on.
Okay. It was probably like 2 times in my life. The first time was probably like way back in my early 20s, when I was so broke that all my budget could afford me to wear was synthetic hair. That was a total nightmare. But fast forwarding, one of the second most terrifying times of my life came after my mom had passed away, and she had left the house and the property to me. And my younger brother was also staying at home. And it was the first time in my life that I had like these like heavy adult responsibilities. I knew nothing really about running a household. I never really had to be a sole provider for anybody other than myself. So I literally went through months of like anxiety. Like I was so terrified. I was like, I don't know. It was just a lot to take on. And it all happened like immediately after she passed away. I didn't even know that she had left me the house and the property or anything like that. So upon consulting with the lawyer, I found out that, which I thought she was going to leave it to my brother, because my brother, even though he's younger, he was closer to my mom than I was. So I was like really surprised that she had left me everything. But that was really scary.
I think the synthetic hair though is up there though.
Yeah, that's synthetic. There ain't nothing going on with synthetic hair. That's synthetic zero. But I poured through. I'm a grown woman today, and I'm paying my bills and holding my property down, and I'm living well. And I know that my mom would be so happy, but it was really terrifying because it felt like it was one of my first introductions into adulthood. I think it's the difference between like having bills and having like property taxes, and just also like being responsible for another life. And my brother wasn't working at that time, so just making sure that he had the things he needed: food, clothes, keeping the lights on. And my grandfather fell sick around. There was just a lot going on. So, but terrifying, but I got through. And that's why I now have a like real appreciation for like the hardest circumstances, because sometimes you don't know how strong you really are until you have to be. And so I appreciate those moments where we kind of like doubt our ability, we doubt our faith, and then upon utilizing that, we see another level of ourselves that is very revelatory, and it's very empowering. And so going through that and coming out on the other side successfully, it's made me a stronger person, and I'm much more confident in my ability spiritually and just intellectually in terms of navigating the world.
Did you seek any therapy for that, or did you just got through it on your own?
I didn't seek any therapy. Like what a lot of people don't know about me is like I cut up on YouTube, and I do all that, but I am my spirituality is literally like front and foremost for me. Like I'm still sacrificing cows. So I mean, it gets real. I don't sacrifice cows, but I didn't seek therapy. But one of the things in my spirituality that really afforded me to kind of have a lot of peace about her passing was I realized or I accepted that my mother belonged to God before she ever belonged to anybody else, before she belonged to me, before she was my brother's, before she was her mother's, before she was a sister, before she belonged to the world. She first and foremost belonged to God. And because I have such deep reverence for God, and I look at God as a parental figure, I couldn't help but tell myself, who the hell am I to feel a way if the father wants his daughter back, if he's ready for her it's his right. He brought her in. He has every right to retire her. And ultimately, nothing is happening to her that ain't going to happen to everybody on this panel, which is moving on to glory. So it was, God was my therapy. I had a supportive family. I had a supportive relationship at that time. So it wasn't anything that was traumatic. And I had a pretty good acceptance, of her passing. So
that's good that you got through all that. It's definitely was a lot to take on, being forced into the position that you're not prepared for. DJ.
The question was the most terrifying thing.
The most terrifying situation you've been in. Yeah.
Situation. Two things, and I'll be very brief about it. Years ago, when I was living in Los Angeles, me and a friend of mine was coming out of a bar and was walking 2 blocks to our cars, and we were robbed at gunpoint. And I've never experienced that situation ever in my life. And but I'm telling you, God works. He's always with me everywhere I go, because I could not have been here today speaking to you guys about this. Just when because he was wanting our money, just when we was reaching for our wallet to give him a wallet, other people was leaving from the club and they were starting to turn down the same street that we were at. And it spooked him and he left. And that was that. And I just thank God, because he could have shot off anywhere as he ran off, but he didn't. So I just thank God that he intervened, in that situation. And then another situation, when I was living in Dallas, it was a 4-car pileup. And I remember seeing this 18-wheeler, and I just thank God that the 18-wheeler was in front of me, because the person that slammed into me was a smaller pickup truck. It could have been the 18-wheeler involved in that 4-car pileup that I was in. And I just thank God for intervening and putting his angels to hold me tight. And I came out of there. My car was water paper. I didn't even have a scratch on my body. Not a scratch.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
And he would do it. People say, won't he do it? He'll do it. There's no question to it.
Okay. You know what? It was 2 situations I thought about long and hard. One was a guy put a gun up to my car when I was in a drive-through. I was sitting in a Whataburger drive-through. It was raining and it was kind of dark on side of the building. And I thought it was a person coming to beg for money. Because you know how, panhandlers out there. And I'm thinking this is just somebody out here walking, going to ask, do I have some change? He had a long trench coat on and he raised the gun up like that. And it was a 12-gauge shotgun. Thank God I hadn't put the car in park. I was still, my feet were on, the brakes. But I immediately put it in reverse. And he shot the side of my mother's car with the buckshots. And you can see the buck. He got caught because they tried to go rob some other people. And it was him and like 2 girls in the car watching out. But it was that. And the other thing was when our house caught on fire when I was little. And when I stayed in East Texas, and the house caught on fire, and a friend of the family came in. And it's funny, Jay, because the night that I had saw you in, was it Austin or San Antonio? When I first saw you, I saw the same person that got us out the house in the club.
Oh my goodness. Oh
my goodness. And, surprise, surprise, I didn't know he was gay.
Gay lives matter, okay.
There's 2 people I didn't know was gay at that time of the night. But
you know what? You was doing good with this house being burned. Now you get ready to mess this whole thing up.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. But what happened was my sister went in the bedroom looking for my birthday gift. And she had a candle, and the candle caught the bed on fire. And the fire went up the side of the wall in the house. And it was so, keep in mind, I'm like 9, 10 years old. And the fire just went up the side of the house. you could hear the guns. We had guns, and you can hear the buckshots going, the bullets exploding because it was buckshots for the shotguns. Mm-hmm. You can hear the bullets exploding, and the house went up, and it just went up. It went up so quick, and it was just so. It's like thinking about that. My brother was asleep. I had a little baby brother that was like 2 years old at the time. We got out the house and we were just standing out there. And my mother was cleaning. She was helping someone clean up at the church. Mm-hmm. And it was just that and the gun. That was the two most terrifying experiences because as a kid, you don't know, I'm throwing water on the fire and it made the fire just even go up more. It was just, child, I thought I was in, it was just an inferno.
Jeez.
But what you were gonna say?
Can I say that a house fire is literally one of like my biggest fears? Like I don't know what it. Maybe it's just the idea of like losing everything and then being completely powerless as you're watching everything just go up in flames. Like, but that is such a terrifying. Like I almost keep a gated fence around my stove. Like. I'm like, you got to have a special FBI fingerprint to even use my stove in my house because I just don't play when it comes to that whole fire situation. Like, that's a very terrifying situation. So I just wanted to say that, like, wow.
You got gas or electric?
So my stove?
Yeah, gas or electric?
It's electric.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. But even here, what DJ and I both experienced the flooding here in Houston.
Oh yeah,
that was something a lot, you know. Even but after the house burning down, the flood was just like a walk in the park to me. It was like okay, but that's you know, you never know what people have been through. You never know. Did you guys want to add anything as we're closing tonight?
Yes, I wanted to shout out Edna's daughter who wrote a few moments ago. She said, "This is such great adult conversation. It's too bad that this sector of YouTube is sleeping on the gentleman's panel because it's not messy.
Yes,
folk need to wake up. There's more than mess for us." And this is what I wanted to talk about. Like, you can have a blended conversation that's fun, that's humorous, that's informative, that's also real. You can have your vegetables and your meat and your dessert. I don't know why certain people get so one-track minded in terms of like just totally relying on the mess and the bull crap. And then rendering that as entertainment. I think that genuine entertainment is well-rounded entertainment. And so I'm glad that the people are fed today. Of course, we know that all this wouldn't even be happening without my contribution. The gentleman's panel found their Beyonce. So here I am. Yes. I saved the gentleman's panel. Okay. And I love it. And you guys love it. Okay.
You sound just like the Fisher King Payne, Beyonce.
Okay.
But anyway,
you Farrah.
Farrah. All right. Oh my goodness.
But it's about coming and having differences of opinion and still having a mutual respect for people.
Yes.
And you know what? We love each other. I know we throw shade and stuff, but you know, it's all good. And you know, I put on my wig not because I was crazy, because Conscious had his hair, Captivated had his hair, DJ had his hair, and I wanted to have a little hair. It got a little hot, so I had to take the hair off. Okay, but anyway, it's about being silly and fun, but still being able to convey messages, because we're in a situation now where people are out of work, they are dying. It's a lot of stuff going on. It's a lot of stuff going on. And the one thing I don't want to do is start talking about folk who really don't add and contribute anything to what is going on in the greater society. And I think we really focus on what's real. And of course, we're not worried about the numbers. We're just worried about making sure that you all get an excellent program that entertains and educates. It's called education. I mean, you know, edutainment, whatever you want to call it, but that's what we try to do.
It's amazing that you say that, Jay Wilson, because what I wanted to say, because it was in my heart to say this maybe 10 minutes ago, was two things I wanted to say, and one of them you hit right on. I just wanted to just send a prayer for healing throughout the nation for COVID. I know it's affecting a lot of people. I've known people to experience. I know how that is. I just want to send just a prayer of healing to those, and not only COVID, for those who might be dealing, or even if you may know someone, a friend or a relative that might be dealing with chemo, cancer, radiation, a sickle cell, diabetes, and so much other illnesses and diseases that still exist. And it seems like people only talk about COVID, but there's so much other things that still exist. And one thing that does exist is the power of prayer. So that's one thing I just wanted to just send throughout the entire nation. And another thing that was on my heart was the word favor. I know the pandemic has caused a lot of people to lose their jobs. I know people they're late on their rent. They're trying to work out their payments with card notes. And there might be single mothers who have baby fathers in prison that's trying to make ends meet. But I'm just speaking favor wherever you might be. If it's not you, if it's a relative, is it a friend? I'm just speaking favor and just to cover your mental, because God will not leave you in a sunken place. That was just in my heart to say that. And I love everybody. Thank you.
And let's please continue to pray for the official King Payne, because he did lose a family member. So,
yes.
We miss him dearly on the show.
Yes, I did.
What you was gonna say, DJ?
I did hear about that today, and that's a very good point. COVID has killed so many people. If you are dealing with the loss of a loved one, if you haven't gotten over the loss of a loved one, like myself and Rebel and Conscious, I'm sure I've lost someone that we love. I'm just speaking peace to your mind and over your family, to your heart, because you got to remember that God is a Prince of Peace, and only He can provide.
Amen.
Okay.
Amen.
Say a prayer. Also, I wanted everyone to say a prayer. My moderator, Purple Power, is going through some things, and just send your prayer to Purple Power. You guys, this has been a great show. I've enjoyed all of you. We Kiki had a great time, covered a lot of.
Oh, Lord.
Yes.
Got a little emotional. I'm sorry.
Okay.
You're welcome, everybody that's watching. You're very welcome.
Yeah. It was long, but this was worth it tonight. I mean, we had some laughs. We learned some things, Rebel, about that fire and that situation, and how you met that person again, to let you all know that people are people, and no matter who they love, it doesn't matter. I mean, when the chips are down, people are going to help, and that's right. The thing. And so I'm appreciative of these guys. DJ, you're more than welcome to come on. No matter how many times you want to come on. Huh?
I said,
Conscious TV, we thank you again. And before we leave, Rebel, though, who's next? Who's the person who is it?
Official King Payne.
It would be official King Payne.
So, all right, just wanted to make sure. So we'll keep him in prayer, but the official King Payne. Thank you, Rebel.
Oh yeah, I definitely. What do you guys have going this week? Conscious TV. What do you like to let everyone know what's going on with you?
I'm just gonna be punching out content. I'm gonna do a recap of my interview with Dr. Phil Monago, because I kind of wanted to clear up some things in terms of my perspective of that conversation. But just a regular smuggler, ain't nothing going on but the goodness of the Lord over here. So we just gonna keep on being content creators and living good and eating good and social distancing and staying COVID free, staying prayed up, staying beautiful, slaying this hair, meeting my commitments, making my coin, doing everything I need to do, getting my adulting on, all that. We're gonna be rapping. We're gonna be wapping all week.
Oh, weapon. Okay. Weapon. Oh, Jay, will you be wapping?
I can, because, at the end of the day, that person has tested negative as well for the COVID. But anyway, what am I doing? I'm going to be throwing out content as well. And also, I'm going to be looking at Conscious TV's interview with the Good Doctor, because I'm going to
there.
analyze that because it's something he's good in some things, but he's confusing in others. I do like the same loving gender because that takes that away, and I get that. But I think sometimes people try to do the hyper masculine thing and forget about that. You got to cover everybody. I saw it with Funky Dineva, and I want to see it with Conscious TV. So I'm gonna do a review. And Conscious, I might have you to come on because I want to look at him again.
Okay, captivating.
Well, speaking of that interview, it was an interesting watch. You should see it, Jay Wilson. My midday news, the same as usual, keeping you guys abreast of what's going on. Definitely want you guys to be aware that your president is attacking the Postal Service, so your ballots will not get counted. So he is trying to do everything he can to cheat like he did in 2016. So just be mindful, be aware. We may not like everything about the candidates that we have, but we have them. And at the end of the day, hey, our lives depend on it at this point. Our very lives depend on it at this point. So we need to just be mindful of that. Other than that, I wish you guys peace and blessings, and I'll see you tomorrow in my live chat.
Okay. DJ.
Oh, I did. I just sent my prayers out to everyone. I'm going to continue to stay in prayer. Rebel, thank you for having me. Everybody, I love you guys. It was awesome panel. Thank you guys for having me on here. I've read all the comments. I probably could respond to every last one of them, but I did see it, and I acknowledge all the prayer hands. And I think we all just need to just pray, and let's just keep moving forward. There's no need to moving back. I know I've been hearing a lot on my social media. Hey, let's go back to 2019. Let's go back here. No, we got to keep on moving forward. We got to keep on moving forward until the Lord calls us home. So, I don't want to say it is what it is. Let's make do with what the situation that we're in now. Make the best of it. Put God first and keep moving forward.
One thing that you didn't address was I saw a few questions about this. When you're gonna have a platform?
Did nobody ask you all that?
Yeah,
nobody ask you.
Did in the chat.
I know.
You avoided that question.
Oh Lord, have mercy. Woo, Lord, I got a little hot. Let's talk about the goodness of the Lord, why don't we? I am going to start my chat, so I want to do it, August Rebel. I need your help.
It's been like pulling teeth, y'all.
You always
it is.
And you've been saying that for months now.
I actually, you know what, Captain? Nobody asked you nothing either. I've been saying that since January.
You have said it for months, so I'm just saying.
Look at Jess. Look at Jess. Okay.
Calling a thing a thing.
But you guys, I've had a great time. I've thoroughly enjoyed this conversation that we've had. Much love to y'all out there. Thanks for the support. Support all the guys on the panel. You can go to each of them and get something different. It's all about. It's more to this It's more to this sector than beefing.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we definitely hope you guys got something out of it.
Most definitely. Y'all, will you guys love and light? Blessings to you all.
Jess.
We're out.
Peace.